Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here coming back at you with another video. As you can see, I've got a mess of cylinders all over the place. Just going through a whole bunch of stuff, guys. Whole bunch of stuff. I got some engines kicking around, checking their integrities. This is a G3 90cc, which had a good piston and cylinder, and I'm actually going to use the KDE 100 is now going to be the KDE 90. So I wanted a 90cc for a long time. I had a good piston and cylinder in that motor. So it's going to be a fun build to do that bike. And then, of course, this is the 5-speed right here. This is the 10-speed, I mean, with the high and low. Same thing as the Trail Boss 100 and the KV75. The KV 100. Sorry about that. And I have a sister motor, kind of like this one. Same era, a G4. Let me go show you guys that one. As you can see, I'm going through some covers, some seats, posting some stuff online today. Anyway, so this is the engine right here that I had kicking around. They boogered up the crank right here. They over tightened up the bolt. It's got an American bolt on a metric thing, so this crank is junk. But other than that, that's not what I wanted to talk to you guys about this engine. There is something with this engine. I wanted to show it to you. I just pulled it apart, checking its integrity. And you can see right here how it's got a lot of carbon built up past the rings because it had stuck rings. Okay, that's from using the old style fuel. And the blow-by, when it happens up here, it gets past the rings from being worn out, not using the correct oil. That will happen. But there's something else I wanted to show you guys, okay? I pulled the bike apart. Now this is a good one right here. I want you guys to see this. Looking at the piston, see the exhaust side? Not too bad. I mean, you can see the blow-by, the scuffing, but there's not a whole lot of scuffing on this side. So you would think that piston would be usable, right? If you thought yes, then you were correct. However, there's a negative to that. The piston is unusable because this side. This is the intake side. See all that's scoring, that's scuffing? Okay. Now it's not deep. Okay, so it is actually you can't use this on the, you'd have to replace the piston, but the cylinder is actually good on this motor. But this is what I was talking to you guys about, dirt ingestion. Okay? You see that? That's your intake right there. This is where your air filter sits. When you run these bikes with an air filter box with no filter, that's what happens. Okay? So this travels through the port here into this whole area right here, which is disgusting, and then goes into your carburetor. And that right there is what burns up your engines right there, guys. Not running them with an air filter, not running them with the case. Two strokes are very susceptible to that. It happens quite often. I have literally have a mess of engines that were burnt up because there's an air filter box, and I love this excuse. I couldn't find an air filter for it. There's thousands of them out there, guys. Thousands. Hundreds of thousands of air filters. At this point, you could even get away with putting a cone filter that I absolutely hate on here just to run it until your regular air filter gets in there. You know what I mean? A cone filter is not recommended for these engines. So, but you can put one on there temporarily. I mean, guys, come on. Run these engines with air filters, will you? I'll say end up in the scrap heap. I mean, it's a shame too. Look how nice the crank looks inside there. But they boogered up the crank. So, I mean, I could fix the crank. Not a big deal. But this engine right here and that other one are the same year, make, and model. So, not make and model, but same years. And it's got a lot of the good parts on it. So I'm going to rub some parts off this one to put onto the other motor that's in there. But man, it's such a sad thing seeing these old bikes neglected like that, you know. The cylinder is right here, and you can see some scuffing on the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going to see if I can get a different angle of it. Right there. And that can easily be honed out. It's not all that bad. And it's a cast iron cylinder, so you can then hone those. You cannot hone it if it was a Nicosol coated aluminum cylinder. But I wanted to show you guys that right there. And then I had another question from a Marcus. Marcus asked about the tank vents. And I wanted to show you guys about that real quick, about tank vents, because I was mentioning yesterday on my video about the KEs, the KDs, the KMs, and all that with that little tank vent there. Let's go talk about that now. Alright, so Marcus had a great question. His question was, what if you have the old style tank? And he's referring to this style tank cap, okay, that doesn't have a vent on top. Alright, and I had told Marcus that these are interchangeable and you can use these vice versa. But he said that his doesn't have a vent, and I wanted to show him where the vent is located. See that little tube in the center there? That is your vent. And if you rotate your cap around, you'll see the exit port. Oh, there it is. So if you look, right there, see that little notch cut out right there? And how this one doesn't have it? Look at the top of my thumbnail there. This one's got the little, that's your vent. That's where it vents out. There's only one little vent on it, but the fumes come through here and vent out there. That's a check valve, by the way. Alright, and I'm going to show you guys this real quick so you guys know, because that's what we do on this channel. We do a learning channel, and there is no stupid question, no question that can't be answered. See how they're pretty close? This one uses two little holes for the vents, but nevertheless, right there. And there you go. There you have an old style tank cap on a newer bike. And then you can just, same thing. Comes off the same exact way. Fits on there. So if you have an older tank cap and you want to upgrade it to something a little bit more modern, either you want something to look cool with the hose going by. Some people use the blue hose, the black hose. Some people, like me, put the little vent thing on there. You can easily just do the swap. And it fits on there nice and snug. So, pretty simple, real easy to do. So Marcus, hopefully that answered your question. I actually kind of like that cap on there. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm going to leave that on there for now. And on these little bikes right here, same thing. Tank vent is up underneath. Same exact concept. These are really on there to go. Right like that. I wonder if the Kawasaki caps will fit the Yamaha. Nope. It goes on one side. I can feel it grab on one side. See, that's what we do this channel. Oh, looks like it should. It's not grabbing on one side. Yeah, it's right on the metal. Nope. So that won't work. There you go. All right. So we know a Kawasaki cap won't work on these Yamahas, and that's how we find things out, guys. We just try them out. Take a look at them, see if they work. They work, great. If they don't, oh well. Guys, we have some cool videos coming up on this particular bike. So you guys saw me do the head modification, which is not on here right now. This bike is still got the points ignition in it. And sitting right there on the seat is the flywheel, CDI, lighting coil, and everything. So I might take this bike to another level. It's a fun bike. Let's give it some love. This poor bike's been sitting for so long, I actually feel bad for it. So now we're going to bring this to the 21st century. I might go back on what I said on this bike, guys. I was not going to put lights on it. I think I might do some lighting. I might put a speedometer on it. I might make it street legal. I think it'd be a fun build. Tell me what you guys think about that. I figure, you know what, the CDI's got the lighting coil in it. We're already halfway done. I've got the marker lights for the back, which are the same as the LB50. Same with the front. I got a nice, cool looking chrome headlight for this bike, guys. Alright. Don't lose your minds, but how cool would that look on the bike? I think it would look pretty darn cool on this bike. So I think we're gonna have to break down and put some stuff onto this bike, make this bike a runner, like road runner. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm adding CDI. I'm adding a high compression head. It's a 4-speed. It's got the big gear in the back. I might go bigger. I don't know. I've got a gear that I can use. But I think this bike is really, really cool. I'll have to get a battery box for it and some other stuff. Obviously 6-volt system. But it's going to be using all the parts from its sister bike, the RX50. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It does have a hard time starting up. So we do have to still clean that carburetor. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, it's a pretty cool bike. It's cold. I mean, you can touch the exhaust, you know. I haven't ran it since I put the head back on to try it out. Switch is on. Fuel. So I'm not putting you guys in the stand. Choke down. I'm gonna try one kick, starting it, see how it'll go. If it'll like me enough after talking to it like that, telling all the stuff I'm gonna be doing to it. There she is, guys, up and running on choke. We'll let it run for a minute on choke. We'll stall out. Yep. Well, there you have it, guys. You heard it idling. Still needs to be adjusted. Still not quite right. Maybe the idle mixture screw. The idle mixture screw on these two, by the way, guys. Let me show you guys this on these carbs. Okay, so if you look over here, this screw right here is your idle speed. Okay, for how fast you want the engine to idle, how fast you want the RPM. This screw right here is your mixture screw. So there's your mix for idle only, which seems like mine needs to be adjusted. And then this is your idle speed. Okay, let me shut the fuel off. That clock works good. So anyway, guys, I just figured I'd show it to you guys idling. But yeah, it runs good. Really can't complain. It did start up fairly easy, so it'll do a lot better once it's adjusted. So that's what we're gonna be doing with that bike. So anyway, guys, short video today. I just wanted to say thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Give you guys a little direction on what I'm gonna do with this. And another tech tip. I know I showed you guys before about air dirt ingestion, but I want to get this stuck in your mind to make sure that your engine doesn't look like that, because that stuff right there that's inside there is going into your carburetor, and that is just bad. That's the damage it does on the intake side. And if you noticed the exhaust side has no scoring at all, which means this engine would still be on the bike running properly if they had done their maintenance and kept the intake clean, kept the carburetor clean. So it's really, this is owner-operator error, okay? Neglect, lack of caring about their bike, okay? I get asked questions about the gasket that goes on here. These gaskets are available on eBay and all over the place as well. You have to take the time to look. However, listen to this, guys, okay? You can go to AutoZone, Advanced Auto, and get a roll of gasket material. It's just a roll. You take your side cover. I'm going to do a video on it because I'm going to do a gasket for one of these. But you stick this on top of it, you take a pencil, you trace it, you mark your 3 holes. Okay, once you get that all done, you take this off and then you cut it out, and then you have a gasket. That's simple. Okay, I see a lot of comments of people saying things like, you know, cleaning up a bike, cleaning up an engine and repainting it is not restoring it. That is true, it's not. But if the bike only needs to be cleaned up and painted, the engine, that's fair enough restore, you know? I mean, if you can't resurface gears, so your transmission, if it's working and shifting properly and is not worn out, I'd leave the case alone. I would throw a new piston and top end on it, and then if you're running points ignition, new set of points and condenser, clean it all up, replace all the gaskets, replace all the seals, and then slap it back together and you're happy. You know what I mean? Different engines require different amounts of love. Not all engines you're going to pull apart are going to look like this. So take your time, watch the videos. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Marcus asked me about the fuel cap the other day on one of my comments, and that was awesome because, you know what, a lot of people didn't know that, and I was able to share. I was able to answer Marcus's question and help many other people, because a lot of people don't know that those caps are interchangeable. So everybody's trying to go find the original cap because they can't find one. Well, guess what? Now you can use the other style cap. Make your bike original. Make it your own. When I say original, I don't mean factory original. I mean your original. Make your bike to your style. Change it up. Live, guys. Okay, when these bikes are all sitting there and they're all completely 100% restored, if I restored this bike right here, just say I restored it back to showroom factory condition, everything is absolute correct, clips, straps, paint codes, decals, everything right back to factory specification, even down to the tread that the tire came with. Okay, I'm not going to want to ride this bike. I'm going to show it off like, hey, look at my restored bike. Oh, do you ride that thing? No, I'm just for show. That bike's not fun anymore. That bike is just sitting there as a piece of art and is about as useless as, well, I can't get into that right now, but it's useless, okay? Enjoy your bikes. These are vintage, classic bikes and want to be ridden. They don't want to be sitting in a field. They don't want to be sitting in a barn. They want to be running. They want to have some love. They want you guys to get out there and get on them and show off the newer bikes and say, hey, you got a newer bike. Any bike can buy one of them, but can you get one of these? You know what I mean? So that's where these bikes come in handy. These bikes are fun bikes. Enjoy them. Don't just put them off there for show. Enjoy your bikes. Ride your bikes. Enjoy them. If restoring's your thing, then restoring's your thing. Restore them. Show them off. But ride them. Don't just let them sit. No mileage is good, but mileage is better. You know what I mean? So get out there, turn some 10mm wrenches, okay, guys? All right, I'm out. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll talk to you later.